everybody, Jason Burmis here for wearechange.org. And folks, we are going to be talking about a story that the mainstream media kind of ignoring. I know the big thing is the Sinclair broadcasting, and we're going to get there for sure, because that's definitely something we have to talk about, because it's something we have been talking about here at We Are Change for years. Now they're spinning it in a right-wing perspective, and certainly Sinclair Broadcasting has a lot of right-wing views, but that is, not news to me that these people send out scripts to localized news stations that are becoming ever more consolidated, and guess what? Yeah, they're reading off a script. And when you put a video up of 100 different news networks saying the same exact thing, that's a good thing to me. I'm not mad. I know there's some alternative media out there spinning it that, oh, this is the media attack. No, this is actually a good thing. And sometimes, for instance, when Obama was in office, Fox News seemed to tell a little bit more truth than when George Bush was in office. That's not to say that all the mainstream media is not colluding with one another for bigger picture stories like this one, okay? Trump says we're leaving Syria like very soon. Bad idea. Now, number one, in an actual, democracy where the people control the government and said, hey, we want out. We didn't want in Syria in the first place. Well, the fact of the matter is, this would be big news because our president ran on a campaign saying we're non-interventionist. We need to get out of the Middle East. Back in the day, he was tweeting about getting out of Afghanistan, getting out of Iraq, all these things that have gone by the wayside. And the Syria situation, in the very beginning, a lot of us were hopeful that we would be getting out of Syria, and then another chemical attack occurs, his daughter says something to him, and we're sticking around. Well, now the geopolitical implications of Syria have gotten so serious, with drone bombings of Russian mercenaries, of threats in Damascus, of Russia firing on U.S. troops. These are real things that the media is playing down. Well, now Trump's reconsidering. He's saying, hey, we're getting out of here. Well, not according to the Bezos-owned Washington Post. Okay? Mr. Amazon founder himself, Mr. Propaganda. And here it is. Bad idea. What is so bad about peace? What is so bad about getting out of a war-torn country that doesn't want us there? I don't see any repercussions, okay? Radical Islam is not going to sprout up in just Syria because of this conflict. And we all know that ISIS's connections to Saudi Arabia and the United States are undeniable. And remember, that's why we went there in the first place, right? It was ISIS. And then, oh yeah, we need regime change with Assad. Doesn't matter. People like, John Bolton. And I'm kind of surprised, Bolton joins the group. You'd think Bolton would just want to clear house in Syria, and he still may. Trump speaks off the cuff a lot, and unfortunately he has surrounded himself with people like Bolton, so I'm not exactly sure where this is going to go. All right, I introed a little bit with the Sinclair thing because I kind of had to, because it is still the biggest story out there. But guess what? This is a story from May 12th, 2017, almost a year ago. This isn't news. Look at that. Look at that. The New York Times, Sinclair requires TV stations to air segments that tilt to the right. So again, I'm not here to bash all media. In fact, I'm glad that we do have media. Unfortunately, most of the time, the majority of the time, it is literally government globalist talking points. That's what it is. You gotta be able to see through that. But at the same time, people, when they work at these organizations, they don't think that they're being controlled. They don't understand that their opinion has been formed before they've even had an original thought. And that isn't the case in many of these situations. So just to show you this, now somebody put together a very, very cool video showing this. And remember, it doesn't just happen on the right, it happens on the left as well. And this is a story, again, over a year ago. No one was outraged then. It takes somebody sitting down, spending some time with something, and then the media pushing it. Because, don't get me wrong, it's a great video. But had every media organization basically in the country not reported on it, reposted it, ripped it, threw it up on an age of social media via Facebook, Twitter. People were talking about it on Periscope all over. It would not have been the story that it is today, and this is kind of proof, right? I mean, this again, take a look for yourself, is a story from May 12th, 2017. So, story not story, sorry not sorry. I'm glad it's out there. I'm glad people are paying attention, but don't think for a second this is just a right-wing thing, because it's not about right or left. It, my friends, is about right and wrong. So moving on, this is something we definitely have to talk about, because I really feel like, the Zuckerberg is just the fall guy, man. He's refusing to testify before the UK Parliament, which is just absolutely astonishing. It's astonishing. It's not very astonishing at all. Why would the guy want to go before a committee that he really doesn't have to and possibly be charged with crimes? Because again, I'm not condoning the behavior. I've been talking about the behavior. Julian Assange has talked again and again about how the CIA and intelligence groups actively use social networks, especially Facebook. Okay? It's a known thing. It's not a secret. It doesn't mean Facebook is run by the government. But look at some of the insiders. You have Peter Thiel, which was a huge investor. He's kind of worked his way out a little bit. Sold about 73% of his stocks 4 or 5 months ago. His role in Facebook seems visibly to be going down. Does he know something we don't? Or has he already just seen Zuckerberg in these, Russian ad campaigns? Go after Facebook. Russia interfered with the elections via Facebook. Fake news. Fake news. That's what it was. Okay? You call that a talking point, call it a buzzword, but the bottom line is it had no relevancy. And now it comes back again when they can't get there. Now it's Cambridge Analytica, and although it doesn't involve Russian meddling, it involves Facebook. Well, and by the way, I'm not condoning them taking the text messages of people that never even signed up, of the people that are on Facebook. Believe me, Mark Zuckerberg, not a great guy, doing a timeline video on Zuckerberg. You might see that today, you might see that tomorrow. Got to polish it up a little bit. People definitely have to check that up. That'll be hopefully over at the main channel, but we're going to be doing a lot more stuff on Facebook and Twitter as well. So look for it there. Remember, follow me on Twitter at Jason Burmis. Follow us on Twitter at WeAreChangeNYC. We need your support, so please get over there. Let's get on to the next story. Let's get away from the Zuck and into Dan Schneider and the Nickelodeon Scandal. Okay, this is again something we have covered, but I really want to emphasize right now how Nickelodeon has put out a public statement. Now, this is a guy, again, behind Kenan and Kel, big kid show. It's something that spawned a film. iCarly, big kid show. Henry Danger, big kid show. I mean, this guy, he worked the hits. The kids loved his shows. Now, there are allegations out there about Britney Spears' little sister. I'll let you go check them out. About Amanda Bynes. I'll let you go check them out. Those are allegations. I don't know if they're true. But where there is smoke, there is fire. And we have one of the producers of the film An Open Secret saying that 2 separate girls are going to come forward and talk. And these are girls, or were girls. They were not women when this took place. And the spin here, of course, is, Nickelodeon's released a statement and we were parting ways amicably, and none of this had to do with the sexual abuse allegations out there, although, he's an emotional guy and he may have gotten heated on set. They try to spin it as like some kind of an anger issue. Yeah, I'm angry. I'm angry that Hollywood has perpetuated a culture of sexualizing and abusing our children. So we can only hope that more is done about this Dan Schneider scandal, that more people become aware of it. And, not only does this guy never work in show business again, but that if he is guilty of the crimes that he is accused of, he should be doing prison time for the rest of his life. That's what should be going on. Are we clear? Do we get it? I don't know how we've allowed anything else, quite frankly. It's pretty disturbing. And going from a child abuse story to a story, the final story, involving kids, this one's a little odd. Okay, so we've seen the kneeling everywhere. We've seen football. We've seen it extend to other sports, but usually it's been players, coaches, and now at a Major League Baseball game, they bring in an elementary school choir. And two of the kids, you can kind of see them right here, are kneeling for the national anthem. Boy, I know that's going to get some people hot. That's going to get some people red hot. Is it going to get me red hot? I don't know. I don't think so. Is it a little bit disrespectful? You bet. I mean, they're standing in front of military guys. And believe me, I'm not hoorah. The military is this organization that we can't talk about unless we talk about being proud of it. And we love our freedom, boy. How dare you? No, we should be able to protest. But, these are elementary school kids. What do they really know about the issue, why they are kneeling, about racial or social injustices? Doesn't mean they don't exist. Doesn't mean they couldn't be intelligent and have a point. I'm just saying it's getting now to the level where, I feel like people are doing it for attention. It's gone beyond just athletes. If this continues as a trend, there's 162 games in baseball before the playoffs a year. I think there's 26 teams. I mean, this could really, if this catches on, we're in the first week. I don't think it's even been a week. I know the Yankees home opener was postponed the other day because it snowed here in New York. Yeah, it snowed. Great. Love it. But that's besides the point. Folks, it's an interesting story. I want to see where it goes. I again, don't really believe, and especially since, even Copernic there kneeling down, he has every right to do it. I just happen to disagree with what he's doing it for. I'm not saying there isn't racial injustice, but I'm saying a lot of the cases that he's pointing towards really are about police brutality and not race in particular. And, I'm one of those guys. I'm sorry. All lives matter. I'm not a blue lives matter guy. I'm not a black lives matter guy. I'm an all lives matter guy because, and a lot of people say that's a cop-out. No, you should be judged by the content of your character. That's the truth. That's what we should be basing these things on. Folks, with that, I am going to wrap this one up. I thank you all for joining me over here at the backup channel. It is youtube.com/LukeWeAreChange. Please subscribe. Go to the main channel, youtube.com/WeAreChange. And really, we need you to subscribe. We need you to share. We need you to check those videos out because we're working hard. Luke was out in Somalia last week. Some crazy, crazy videos there. And some crazier videos to come. So we will be back tomorrow with more news. And remember, folks, be the change you want to see in the world.